He mocked a beggar and became one in the next life. The scars you hide might be the very maps you need. There are moments in life when we feel an aversion so strong, we laugh to cover it. But what if the thing we mock is simply a reflection of something we once were? A man has a recurring nightmare. He's barefoot in the rain, hands outstretched, begging in a language he doesn't recognize. Each time he wakes up, he checks his hands. They're clean. But his heart isn't. Let me tell you what really happened. His name was Nathan, 39 years old. Successful, sharp-witted, with the kind of charm that cloaks cruelty and charisma. He ran a startup in downtown Chicago, told people he built systems, but really, he built walls between himself and anything that looked like weakness. He hated street people. Didn't just ignore them, he ridiculed them. Called them leeches, ghosts who forgot to die. Once, he tossed a crumpled $5 bill into a cup and said, "Here, go buy some dignity." His friends laughed. But one old man didn't. He looked up with eyes like worn stone and whispered, "I hope you remember this when your feet are bare." Nathan brushed it off. But that night, he dreamed of cold concrete under his body, of hunger that gnawed not just his stomach, but his name. He woke up, shaken, but not enough to change. 2 years later, Nathan's company collapsed. Fraud, betrayal, perhaps his, perhaps another's. He lost everything. Car, condo, credibility. Friends disappeared like fog in sunlight. He tried to start over. No one answered his calls. He begged not for money, but for a second chance. And for the first time in his life, no one laughed at his fall. They just looked through him. Homelessness crept in like winter. He found himself on a corner he once mocked. The very same one. A man passed by and said to his son, "Don't look. That's what happens when you don't try." Nathan looked up, and it felt like his own voice from a different life. As the Buddha once said in the Dhammapada, the evildoer grieves here and hereafter. He grieves both ways. He grieves and he suffers, seeing his own impure acts. Nathan now understood. Karma doesn't always strike like lightning. Sometimes it unfolds like a quiet echo, returning not to punish, but to complete. The face we mock may once have been our own. The hunger we ridicule may have fed our past. The beggar on the street may be our next teacher, or a reflection from a mirror turned backward through time. What if the disgust we feel isn't toward others, but toward unhealed memories within ourselves? What if compassion isn't a virtue, but a remembering that we too have fallen? You see, karma doesn't just carry deeds. It carries emotion, tone, mockery, and sometimes the karma is not in what we did, but in what we refuse to feel. So let me ask you, have you ever reacted to someone's pain too quickly? Have you ever feared becoming what you once condemned? If this story touched a part of you that feels unfinished, you'll be back. Because you're not done with this story, and it's not done with you. The Dharma doesn't rush. but it always finds you again. In the eyes of a stranger, in a dream you can't shake, in the shiver that comes when you pass someone and something in you remembers. This isn't the last time this story will visit you. And when it does, will you listen more gently? If this story touched you, leave a word in the comments, even just "Reen, peace." Let's build a space of compassion and truth together.